and welcome to the May 29th school committee meeting. I would like to welcome Amy Marr to the committee and congratulate Jennifer Conley on her re-election to the school committee. Thank you. I look forward to working with both of you, well, all of you this year. I'd also like to thank Peter Carlson for his 10 years of service to the Grafton School Committee and congratulate him on his election to the Select Board. Just a few things I'd like to say, since we didn't get to say our goodbye to Peter. Peter had many accomplishments while serving on the school committee, including helping to get the new high school bill, helping to hire our current superintendent, working to pass the 2014 override that helped keep our schools whole, representing the school committee on the CIPC, and we discussed tonight, we think maybe it was for a decade that he did that. He helped to build the strategic plan, and he was our acting chair for the past 2 years, and I think he did that 3 times over his 10 years. So, Peter, if you're watching, which I'm sure you are, I can honestly say that the Grafton Public Schools are better off because of you, and we thank you so much for your service, and we wish you luck on your next adventure, and we look forward to working with you in our tri-committee meetings. And then I would also just like to congratulate the class of 2019 who are graduating on Friday and wish them luck in their next endeavors. So I skipped ahead, but that was the chairperson's update. I am your current chairperson, so hello. And I'd like to start by welcoming any comments from the public, community groups, or citizens. No? Hearing none. We will move on to educational reports. We're skipping tonight, right?
Yep.
All right, and next up, we're gonna welcome our interim special ed director. So Bob, you wanna come on up?
It's a tremendous pleasure for me to introduce Bob Wall as my recommended appointee to the position of interim special education director for 2019-2020. Bob has served as team chair at North Street Elementary School and the middle school for the past 2 years. And prior to coming to Grafton, Bob served as special education director for 17 years in Rhode Island. He's done a fantastic job as team chair, and we're very fortunate that he's willing to step up into this leadership role on the district level for the coming year. So, welcome, Bob. And
thank you very much, Mr. Cummings. I really appreciate this opportunity. I just want to say that my initial reluctance was just about the fantastic administrators, special education and general education teachers it is that I've had the pleasure to work with, related service providers, administrative assistants, right down to the kids themselves. And it's been a phenomenal experience here in Grafton, and I look forward to having that continue in my new role. And I look forward to serving you, and thank you very much for the faith and confidence it is that you have in me and in all of you, and I hope that I live up to it.
Do you guys have any questions or comments for Bob?
Just thank you for taking on this role and welcome aboard, even though you've already been on board. But
Oh, it's a much different board now.
Well, I have worked with Bob at North Street. We served together on the School Advisory Council and worked with him as a parent as well. And we're really happy to have you on board. And please let us know how we can help make the transition any easier. And if you have any questions, we look forward to working with you.
I appreciate that. I'm just very, very blessed to be here.
So we do need a vote. Would somebody like to make a motion to appoint Bob Wall as our interim special education director?
I make a motion to appoint Bob Wall as the interim special education director.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
You do not have to feel obligated to stay. I know, it is. You can go and celebrate. Nice to meet you.
That's assuming it's so
Yeah.
Just to make sure you put it in.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. And next on the agenda, Stan Gale.
Lunch prices.
School lunch prices.
All right, yeah. So every year, we need to discuss lunch prices. In the past, as a part of the Healthy Hunger Kids Act, the USDA requires us to use a specific tool to determine if prices are required to go up. And the goal of that is just to make sure that the government's not subsidizing too much of the program, and then the paid lunches are subsidizing an equivalent amount. So, although recently they made a change and said that if your lunch account is running in the positive as of the end of the previous calendar year, then you're not required to increase prices. So I want to let you guys know that. When we did do the tool, the calculation came out that we should increase the prices by 10 cents over the current school year rates. So besides the general USDA guidelines about prices increasing, I met with Whitson's. They discussed kind of expenses and revenues that they projected for next year, and due to the minimum wage increase that's steadily going to go up 75 cents for the next few years up until it's going to be up to $15 in 2023. They project that they are going to be giving those raises to their employees, and they suggest to keep the account in the positive, that we increase each type of lunch price by 10 cents. So we would go keep the breakfast the same, but on lunches, elementary schools would go from $2.75 to $2.85, and secondary schools would go to $3 to $3.10. And then there's adult meals and premium meals that are $3.75, and they'd go to $3.85. So that was my recommendation, to go increase each price by 10 cents per meal. And I'm open to any questions that you have about that.
I have a question. So were we, maybe I missed it, but were we below this year, or?
We were positive, so we don't have a requirement to increase prices
Right.
per the USDA. So I'm recommending the increase just to keep the account positive, because expenses are going to be higher next year due to wages.
Okay.
And will this cover the increase in
Yep.
anticipated wage
That's what
expenses?
Whitson's does think, that this will cover the wages, what they've projected out, assuming kind of trends from this year, and those increases, they think we will be positive if we increase by 10 cents.
And I appreciated you providing us with where we were with other schools in the area as well, which prices. I know that's a concern. Any other questions for Dan? We do need a vote on this as well, so can I have a motion to accept the recommended lunch increase?
Motion to accept the recommended lunch increase of 10 cents for the 2019-2020 school year.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right. Thank you, Dan. Thanks for your work on that. And we are passing over the job description review. And next up, we have an MOA agreement that we need to discuss.
So as you know, we have 4 units. We have nurses, teachers, custodial, and support staff. The support staff unit has requested that they split into 2 units. They would like to, or they're requesting that we approve them breaking into one group consisting of 6 individuals, all 12-month administrative secretaries, and the other consisting of our 10-month employees. So that is all of our clerks and learning assistants, so attendance clerks, media clerks, and learning assistants. I would fully support the breaking up of this unit into 2, as it just makes a lot of sense, having the 12-month employees separate from the 10-month employees. So I would certainly support it.
Any questions for Jay about this? If think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's come up several times over the years.
Yeah, in past negotiations, no fault of anybody's, it's almost like two negotiations taking place within the confines of one.
Right, and there's
Of
really no
nobody's fault.
downside, it's just time on
Correct. Yep.
So there is some wage differences, right, as a
Mhm.
result of this, but nobody's going to be particularly negatively impacted.
With the splitting,
Yeah,
yep, there shouldn't be any negative impact. There were
Right.
already differences and they were defined in that one contract. It's
Mhm.
almost like we had two contracts within one, to be quite
Okay.
frank.
okay.
Any other discussion?
I'm just making sure that I write.
Need more
It's-
time?
Like, how am I breaking it up? Is it
Oh,
tended?
thinking of the motion.
Right.
I think you could do right like this. Make a motion to approve, provide a decision.
Okay. I make a motion to consider memorandum of agreement that was provided for the division of the SEIU support staff, local 888 unit.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor? All right, thank you. So then we'll be in touch on next steps on when to, do you think they're gonna be interested in bargaining over the summer?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. This is already, they've basically been waiting on this
oh, okay,
for that next step.
okay,
So we'll have, the rules meeting, I would expect, it's certainly in June.
okay. All right, so we'll be in touch. All right, thank you. All right, we don't have a heavy agenda tonight for your first meeting, Amy, but we like to ease people in. School committee member reports. Skylar, you want to report on the last months of school?
Just, we had the G-term meetings today. Everyone met with their final. It was the final meeting before G-term starts next Friday. I believe that's June 7th. So everyone finalized it. There was a plan set in place for what everyone was going to do, and then also what for community members when they come in on Wednesday, the 12th. If community members want to come in, everyone finalized the project that's going to be displayed for community members.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm interested to see how it's gonna work with everyone moving. I mean, I know we have kids going to Narragansett, other kids going to Boston, other kids staying at the high school. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna work. I think it would be a lot of testing things out, seeing for next year. But I'm definitely excited for it.
I have a question for you, just out of curiosity. Do you think that everybody really needs this break at the end of the year, or do you think it'd be better to have a break in the middle of the year, when everybody's like, that brutal kind of,
I would probably
After
before
Christmas.
this year I would have said the middle, but
Mhm.
then this year we didn't really
That's good.
because we got rid of there was no midterms this year,
Mhm.
and it didn't even notice it. So that was you didn't even feel like I needed that much of a break at the beginning of the year. I think or middle of the year. I think with Christmas coming out with that break, it sort of gives you it. And now this year, I think it's nice to have towards the end of the year wind down everything. So I know with G-term, there's still some you can turn in some papers if you weren't able to get them in on time, stuff like that. So I think it is nice to have it towards
That's
the end of
good.
the year.
Anything else? Any other updates?
I think that's it.
Yeah? Great.
Kind of
Thanks.
interested to hear the feedback
Yeah, me too. Definitely interested to hear about it.
I liked.
We'll get that. Any other member report?
Went to another very good concert, the last concert of the year.
Yeah.
Was
Arts. That's great.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Music department continues to knock it out of the park.
We have ours coming up on the elementary school level and next week in middle school level. Well, we went, I went, and Amy was there as well. We went to Everyday Heroes.
Yep.
A few weeks ago, and it was nice to see everybody honored, and the stories that were told. It's really such a nice job, in a great, poignant way. So,
Great.
So yeah, as we hit the end of the year, I just wish everybody luck and everybody to remember to keep your head about you, even though it's the end of the year. Still have rules, and no need to go crazy. That's my member report. Jay, you want to give your
Just adding to what Melissa said prior to that fine arts concert, there was an art show and the manufacturing department displayed their works. I don't know if anybody had a chance to see it, but the stuff that these kids produce is unbelievable. From guitars to bowls, like stuff that just would blow your mind. And the actual artwork, I thought I was a good artist in high school. I was like a joke next to these guys. It's really unbelievable. The seniors had their class trip today. I haven't heard anything bad about it, so I'm assuming that went well. Senior night tomorrow night, and then graduation on Friday evening at 6. 8th grade trip just wrapped up over the weekend. They went on that big trip, 200, I think it was 12 students down to 8th graders down to Washington, D.C. That's quite a feat. And they all came back. I wanted to just give a great deal of thanks to our parent and staff chaperones. I mean, that's a ton of work, and they made it look easy, but I know it isn't. So that was great. I sent out a newsletter last week. I noted changes in 2 of the early release days, one in March and one in May next year, just so that I think you're aware, but so the public knows we don't just change our mind on these days on the fly. We try to set the calendar for the coming year in December, maybe early January, the year prior, and then it's not until April or May that we receive the detailed MCAS schedule. So then, of course, 2 of the early release days fell on all-day high school testing days. So we made the change. I think people are going to roll with it. But that went out, and then last but not least, save the date for that 2nd annual Festival of Hope that took place last year. It was created in memory of the Grafton Middle School adjustment counselor Julie Flynn. It's organized by Rosie and Maggie Warfield. It was a huge success last year, and we're expecting the same this year. So Sunday, June the 23rd, Festival of Hope. That's all I have.
Okay. So now we're getting future agenda planning. We will be needing to fill our final position. Jay sent out a list of questions for us to review. So I've just asked if you can review the questions that we would ask potential interviewees and give any feedback to Jay, and we can hopefully get that put on our schedules. It's a difficult one. I would ask that the majority of us be able to be there versus the majority of the select board, as much as we appreciate their input as well. But if we could be the parity, and then it needs, I think it was posted, feels like it was immediate, like last Wednesday or Thursday.
It was posted the day after, so it must have been the 24th.
So it has to be up.
Or when was the election, 23rd?
21st.
21st.
So it's 22nd it was
Okay.
posted. It has to be, I checked the charter again
Right,
today, it
me
has to be
too.
posted for 14 days.
Yeah, okay. All right, and so we'll look forward to any from the community who wants to apply, and then we'll go through the process of appointing our final member. And we will, we are meeting on the 11th, which will be a full meeting. And we can set our summer schedule. We can do, I would like to ask that we maybe hit a workshop and dive into some of the later start time recommendations that were given to us. I know it's been a very hot topic. We still haven't had a chance to discuss it. I think it needs to be done in where we can really focus on it. So that might be something that we do over the summer. We'll pick a date where we all can meet, obviously. We can send out a doodle for that. But that would probably be my recommendation versus trying to do this and then we can, obviously, we would report back anything, but I feel like we need to really kind of
Answer?
we need to answer, we need to digest. It still seems like people think that is the final suggestion, and, again, it was a recommendation from our wonderful committee that's what they came up with, and we're gonna have to do the work that we need to do and we are gonna have to make a decision
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
much as
Yeah.
as is going to be a difficult one. So if people are up for that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
That's
might
a
be,
good idea.
that'd be my recommendation, and we can even pull in some of our administrative team to kind of talk through some really what it means and the
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so we'll
good.
work to get that on. Anything, that to me seems to be the most kind of timely, we don't have that June 25th, I don't think, or June, whatever, I don't think it's the 25th, I totally made that up.
There's one June,
We have June 11th,
there
right?
was another. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
it.
it
there
would have
one
been
more?
the
I had a
25th.
different one on my calendar.
Because I'm looking at the wrong year.
I only had the 11th on my calendar. I don't know if I missed it or.
So
I thought I saw one in,
in my mind it was, but
Are you
June-
talking about,
June
there's
19th.
definitely one on the 11th.
there's definitely on the
That
11th.
Tuesday,
so
that's the
then
high
two-
school's gonna do their school improvement plan and their handbook.
Yeah,
So that will be a full meeting.
yeah,
And then I think as a, to be determined, we kept
Yeah.
not knowing if we'd still be having school then
right.
2 weeks out. So,
Maybe that might be a good time to kind of hit before we all get summer brain. So maybe we'll look into that and we'll be in touch with that. And then we can start thinking about our, what we want for the future agenda, and we'll do the rest of our committees once we're full. And anything that comes up, and Jay can communicate through. So, okay. We have quite a few minutes, so thank you to Debney Marlette for catching us up. We have 9 minutes. So we did check. Jay, do you want to check and just go over the fact that even though some of these, there's one where it was only Jen and I were on the committee at the time, but we can still approve them because we obviously can't get the old gang back together again.
I did go down and talk to Candy
This is a long.
LaValle, and that's what she said.
Riveting
Even
reading,
if-
though.
Even if in theory nobody was on the committee,
Right.
it's really a lack of choices
Okay.
or options.
How about for the ones that I'm not there, because usually I abstain.
If we still have a
That'll be you.
quorum,
You
I
can-
think
you can
that's
do
fine.
Well, I did go look for the video of this meeting anyway, this very first one, and I did not find it.
Oh,
I tried.
From 16.
Well, it's 2016. I mean,
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's somewhere.
I'm sure Debney did a fantastic job, and these are accurate.
I'm sure it's recorded.
Yeah, no, I remember it very well. So, can we get can I have a motion? I guess we'll
I'll
just go one at
I'll
a
just go
time.
one at a time.
Yeah,
All right. So I make a motion to accept the minutes for December 20th, 2016 as presented.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Although, Melissa, I know.
But you just can't. You can't second it.
Why not?
because
She
you
can
want-
second the motion, she doesn't have to
You can second the
vote on
motion,
it,
you
yeah.
can't approve the minutes.
You can actually.
So
That was the discussion.
That was what he
I
said.
know, but I'm
But you're here.
processing it. and
I know.
don't
It took
think
me
you
all day
can.
too.
Melissa took me all day too. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Sorry to ask the question.
To me, yeah, I think it's important to ask the question. It's very difficult to, I mean, you've no, I mean, it's strange.
Because I was,
It's definitely strange. That's why I went down to the town clerk today and said, I
But-
played it out to the extreme and say we had a brand-new group.
Yeah,
She said, yeah, that you can actually, in Massachusetts, you could actually just have the chair alone approve the minutes, which we've
right,
never done.
I can see that,
And if he or she wasn't there,
yeah,
I said, and the more I thought about it, I understood
yeah.
what options do they have other than to not have the minutes.
And seconding the motion doesn't mean I support the motion. It just means.
True.
Right.
Yeah, so in a, I don't know, a lifetime of meetings, I have abstained from minutes where I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Right, I always
Yeah,
have
yeah,
too.
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's good practice
Yeah.
going forward. I think tonight,
And that's what I
right,
gathered online. Like, that's
Yeah.
certainly best practice, and best practice
Yeah.
is staying current. And with the makeup of these 9, we are now fully current, which is great.
and I think this was a very old one. I think it dropped. I think we're never this behind, so I
that was,
want to
that
be
was
clear.
also not
This
in
was
the
pre-Deb.
center. It
This was.
Yeah, it was in the high school. It was not it was a special meeting. And for the most part, we're fairly current, and so we're appreciative to Mrs. Marlette. So I guess for tonight, we will take a recommendation of our town clerk. We will review the minutes the best we can, and approve them, and then going forward, I think it is a best practice. If you're not at a meeting, you don't vote,
Yeah.
unless you've watched the meeting, which you can also do.
Okay.
So,
I make a
I
motion.
think we made the motion, it was seconded,
Oh.
and we need to vote. All those in favor?
Abstain.
So, If two people abstain and two people vote, the motion carries.
She was
right?
there,
Yes.
wasn't she there?
I was
No,
not
so
there.
the
I
formula
wasn't even on the
was-
school
Oh, it was,
committee.
you're
We
right.
count as no vote at all,
You're right.
so
Yeah.
yes.
We just count as a non-vote, and it carried.
And it carries.
Okay.
Right, that was my question to you earlier. Okay. All right. Excellent. So you can feel free to do what is best in your heart. How's that? As you always should on the school committee. All right.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of February 27th, 2018 as presented.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right.
You were absent on
You were
that one.
absent, Melissa.
It's like, I'm just looking for it. Okay, so I'm gonna abstain.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
so-
also abstaining.
Okay, two, motion carries two and two abstained. It was actually really good to reread this. So,
Would have helped me with the town report.
yeah. Okay. I'll make a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the minutes from April 10th, 2018 as presented.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I actually watched this one.
Excellent.
Good.
In 2018, you remember you watched April 10th meeting?
See what's on the, did you see what was on the agenda?
Yes, I was there.
Well, that's why I watched it.
All right, motion made and seconded. All right, all those in favor? Excellent. Motion carries.
Next one, I'm absent.
You still make the motion.
Someone else did.
All right. Somebody else want to make the
I'll
motion?
make the motion to approve the
Excellent.
minutes of June, it looks like it's June 26th, 2018.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, all those abstaining? Motion carries. 3-0-1. September 11th.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 11th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those abstaining? All right, motion carries 4-0-1, or 3-0-1, excuse me. All right, September 25th.
Make a motion to accept the meeting of September 25th, 2018 as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Melissa?
No, I'm
Oh, you-
ahead of myself.
All right, all
I'm
those
just
in
saying
favor?
in favor. Yeah,
All right.
no discussion, sorry.
Okay, motion carries 3-0-1. October 9th.
Wow, this is like fast forwarding your life.
She did say she was very tired of watching our meetings. Even though I said that we were very entertaining.
It's only 26 hours.
I can't
All
even
right, I'll
imagine.
make a motion to approve the minutes of October 9th, 2018.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, all those abstaining. All right, motion carries 3-0-1. And then our most recent meeting, October 30th.
I move to accept the minutes of April 30th, 2019.
Second.
There's a
Jay said.
discussion, yeah.
There is.
So we
Oh.
just need to make an edit to the numbers about Jay's evaluation. So instead of 3, I feel like it's captured. Oh, instead of,
On page 2, instead of out of 5, the final 4 standards are out of 4.
right, so 4
That's
out
the
of
error.
4, yeah.
So it's 4 out of, the last one's 4 out of 4 instead of 4 out of 5.
So there was just an error in the.
3.25.
Where should it be?
So right here, it should be 4 out of 4. The highest you can get is 4 in the
Okay.
last 3 standards.
Gotcha.
So it's just an error in the tabulation. Okay, so motion made and seconded with the revision. All in favor? All abstaining? All right, motion carries. Thank you. So normally, we do not have that many minutes. Amy?
Never again, right?
But, No,
Never
probably
again.
not. But we're grateful to Debney for catching us up, so thank you, and then they'll be posted and everybody can read the minutes. We have a couple warrants, I believe. as
Yes,
well.
those are handed out. We have
Yeah.
warrants number 45, 46, and 48.
No, I'll just look down here.
Oh, here, why don't you use mine? I don't think they're on the,
Yeah, they should be.
I
Are they?
saw them at one point. How many are there?
3.
All right, let me get them in order. All right, I make a motion, to accept warrant number 46 dated 5/16/2019 for the amount of $583,000 for, $583,414.39.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Questions? So Amy, this is a good time. If you have any questions about the warrant, you can ask them
No,
during
I-
this time.
I got mine in advance, so I read through it and
That's what we like to hear. All right. All right. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries.
I make a motion to accept warrant number 48 dated 5/30/2019 for the amount of $343,356.04.
second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
I make a motion to accept warrant number 45 effective, what is it? Dated May 9th, 2019 for $11,507.03.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, great. Thanks, Dan. Thank you. Motion carries 4-0. And then we have a budget update?
Yeah, I have a budget update for the status of the FY19 budget as of May 22nd, last week. So I can go through some of the points from the accounts that are either in the positive or negative. Overall, at the bottom, and the middle account, that's the column that says favorable, unfavorable, is the one that I'll talk about. And overall, we're expecting to be very close to on budget. This shows a surplus of $7,000. So we had a few accounts this year that were under budget. The largest one being special education transportation, because we had fewer students needing transportation than we had expected, and also tuition out of district, showing expecting a positive balance of $110,000 in that account. We did have a student move out of Grafton that we expected to need to pay tuition and transportation for. We also kept a student in district that we expected to have tuition and transportation for. So that's part of what led to those positive balances. We also had some vacancies in the custodial staff through custodians leaving. So there's a positive balance in that account expected. We also have a positive balance in the technology and teacher payroll, teacher aid payroll. We did have some teachers either after we create the budget, so we create the budget in January. We do find out that some teachers are either leaving or sometimes resigning towards the end of the year around this time. So sometimes if they leave and we hire a newer teacher, we'll have unexpected budget savings. So that's part of what you see as a positive balance in that line. We did have additional money in technology that we we're planning to spend on technology at the end of the year if we had funds, but to come in at a positive balance, we think we won't be able to spend as much on the technology as we had expected. And some of the negative accounts, the largest are around utilities and maintenance. So we had a lot of projects, either building problems that cost a lot to try to diagnose and fix. We had a lot of issues with the boilers at the high school. A lot of HVAC at all the schools came up throughout the winter. And as we got into the spring with the cooling, we had some smaller projects that we did over the summer that weren't in capital, although we didn't have any money budgeted for capital projects. So you see some spending in the extraordinary maintenance line. Also in the utility line, we had expected to be able to put solar on the high school and the middle school roof. The middle school is not going to be able to happen. The high school has been delayed a little bit, so we're not sure. I'm not expecting to get our first payment until after June 30th. So that's why that utility account is showing as a negative $72,000. So those are the main ones. I had some notes on the side there for you guys, and I'm ready for any questions that you guys have on that.
Any questions for Dan?
I have one. So the money that we get from the solar projects after the fact, does that change our budget? Like, how does that affect us?
So we're planning to get $20,000 per year for 20 years. So we're still going to get one payment of $20,000 next year that we are planning on the FY20 budget. So it won't change what we expect for FY20. It just affects FY19. If everything else were the same, we'd be projecting a loss of $20,000 in our overall budget. But because all the accounts kind of balance out, we'll finish at a positive balance in FY19. But we'll still just get one payment per year. So we'll actually get like another payment at the end, 20 years from now that we weren't expecting. It'll affect the FY40 budget.
Our future school
FY40.
committee members.
FY40 budget got a little better.
It's gonna be a banner year.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for that year then. I'll be here.
And there's nothing, there's no maintenance, et cetera, anything that is a problem in terms of maintenance is not our responsibility with the solar array.
No, so if we have a roof problem, it's our problem. But if it's a solar problem, they own it and they come fix it.
Right.
They keep it active. We get a flat rent payment, so whether or not it generates electricity or not, so it's in their best interest to keep it maintained and running so they can make their profit.
What would happen if we did have a roof problem? You had to take everything off. Who does that?
So it depends, if it's a small problem or a bigger problem, but they would come up and move it. We do have space on the roof that's not being used, so
So they could just
they could
transfer.
move it over. But if it was a bigger problem, it could affect our payment. If they may not give us the whole $20,000 if it's a large issue, but they do have it spaced out so that we can get in between the panels if there's a leak.
Okay. Just we've had problems.
Yeah.
Some minor problems with windows, for instance. No. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I have a question. So we have about, almost 7,000 left?
Mhm.
So what happens to that money?
So if we do end the year with 7,000 left over, it will go to the free cash of the town, and then we had discussed potentially in October we could request if that can go into our
Yeah.
special education stabilization account.
Like you read my mind, yeah. So I would like to, I guess, make a note somewhere that we should discuss that and bring that up.
Right. Yeah. I think at our first meeting after the summer, I can kind of give you a recap of how we actually ended the year. If it was positive, we can talk about that.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. And thanks for putting this together, Dan. This is super helpful and very transparent. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We do not have policy tonight, and we had one piece of correspondence. I believe we all received a letter from the South Grafton PTO expressing their concerns about the later start time recommendations for and how it would affect the elementary school. So I did, as I was acting chair at the time, I did respond to them, let them know that we received it, and we'll certainly be in touch with them if we want to move forward with their recommendations. I will send a copy over to Debney, and it'll be in our minutes. So it'll be available for public record. So thank you for that correspondence. We appreciate hearing from people, for sure. I don't believe we need to go into executive session tonight. So Amy, they're not usually this short, but we'd like to let you in so you'll come back. And I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
You didn't do this for me. I just want to point that out.
I wasn't chair. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right. No, somebody needs to make a
I
motion.
make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Second. All those in favor? All right. Thank you. Good night, Grafton.